Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the spooky stream with my new outfit, Fallen Serenity. Fallen Angel Serenity. Let me show it off real quick. Hold on. Let's switch it to chatting. And then let me check it out. Check it out. My new outfit. Boop, boop, boop. Tiny angel, true. Now I'm big. Let me see if I can fit it back to where it was. There we go. But yeah. I gotta show you how to move your hands out of your skirt's pockets, please. But welcome to the spooky stream where we're getting spooky. We're gonna be playing a Mortician's Tale, which is a game about... It's just a face god. It's a game about the death industry. So like, sorry, I'm drinking a Monster instead of water. Fuck that. But it's a game about the death industry, which is like funeral homes. It's gonna involve like preserving bodies. It's not graphic or anything like that, but it's gonna be talking about like what's it like to be a mortician, what's it like to run a funeral home, like eco-friendly ways to have a funeral, stuff like that. So if you're not cool with death, might want to avoid this one. And then we're going to be reading some SCPs that some people, when I die, I do not want to be involved. Me either, actually. It's very bad for the environment, like very bad. I want to be put in a biodegradable casket when I die. Or do what like Jewish people do and just like shroud the body in like a sheet and put him in the ground. But anyways, we'll be definitely talking a lot about death, and I got a burger and boba. Incredible. Yeah, do you like my little steam animation? It's a little bear. I hope you can see it. Let me try and like turn my wing so it covers it. Ugh. No, I'm just making it worse. Oh well. Wait, maybe if I turn this way. Now I can't see the screen. I hope that worked. I want to be a tree too. Yeah, same. Softy got good taste. True. But anyways, we're going to be talking a lot about death. Maybe talking about my life a little bit. Because this is very touching game, I think. And then for the SCP readings, there's probably going to be like, what if we were a tree in the same forest? Yes, please. You are my forest baby. But for the SCP readings, I guess like a trigger warning for, I didn't really choose anything too like graphic or anything. Yeah, I am gay. What of it? I didn't choose anything too graphic or anything like that. But it does get spooky. There's might be something gross involved. But nothing too horrifying. Some of them are just nice. Some of them are not. But yeah, a little trigger warning for SCPs. And I guess I should explain what an SCP is for people who don't know. An SCP Foundation is like this collaborative, spooky horror written work by like everyone. Anyone can write an SCP. And the Foundation is this organization that contains these monsters or like scary things or even scary concepts that like run rampant in the world or the universe or other universes. So the SCPs, which stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, are like basically monsters, and they can be literally anything. I have the vending machine on the list, actually. I'm going to be reading the vending machine, and probably the coffee machine as well. But yeah, so some people make them scary, some people make them nice, some people make them like physical monsters, some people make them like concepts, which I think is really cool. I like the concept of a scary concept, they call it like a mimetic monster, or SCP. Where it's just like, it's literally like a meme that can like spread and do harm or do good. But yeah, so that's what an SCP is. So I'll be reading those. Anyways, let's get into this. I love that one. Me too. I put some of my faves on here. I don't know how many we'll get through because I put a lot, and I also put some suggested ones as well. So we shall see. But let's start with a Mortician's Tale. Let me see the options. This game is also very aesthetic, by the way. It's very nice to look at. Start new game. It's also like short. It's like an hour. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. Now, do I click? Oh, I just clicked to move. This is our Mortician. She's got little sleeve tattoos. Ooh. Hello and welcome to our new funeral director. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear a joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when you come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing y'all can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J. Is this... Oh! I guess I should have started with this one, because this one looked like it came in earlier. Oh well. Hello everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We've had a nice catered lunch this afternoon, so we'll all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose. And instructions. Well, you're new here, so there's probably best I can explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find the cremation station. The cremation station. Crematory station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. This is good luck, you beautiful and smart babe. You, from Jen. I guess my subject line should start being more professional now that we're business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't know mom and pop funerals were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think about much. I should look more into this and learn about your world and industry because, as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe someone paid me to move to London, and not London, Owen? I'm not sure what, Oregon? Is that Oregon? Cereal capital of Canada. Oh, Ontario? To work in a museum. Take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face so you can hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I send you up for Funeral Monthly newsletter. Consider it a graduation gift. I love you / am super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L. Hart. London, Ontario. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that. Oh, Funerals Monthly. Tips for good etiquette at a funeral. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I can't really believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember being respectful at a funeral. Generally following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and a place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, do so inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they need. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just a reminder to be respectful when grieving with family and friends. Happy reminiscence. Whoa, what happened for a second there? That was weird. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and the grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's thought that counts. Sometimes this can be just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. True. Very true. Okay, today's tests. Hello, Charlie. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Oh, I get it. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation necessary. The family seems a little bit united than previous families I've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having one more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Oh. So this is just them asking. Let me see. We're happy to be with Rose and Daughter's funeral home. We understand that there's usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but could you kindly not embalm my mother? It would be greatly appreciated, and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have a negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments to be on the counter, to be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for anything. And I said, of course. Okay, so she's a cool dead person, right? I want to be a cool dead person. I really want to donate, like my organs or anything I can donate. I want to donate to other people, because I think the concept of just like, I really love helping people. So the concept of being able to help someone live, literally live, even after I'm dead, I'm just like, that's the angel way to live. That's the angel way to be. Just constantly doing your best to help those around you and to help anyone who needs help. So yeah, really passionate about wanting to donate anything I can to anyone who could use it. Sure thing, let's get right to it. Okay, this looks like the body. This is the prep room where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click the sponge and drag it over to clean it. Sponge. Oh, I don't like the noise it makes. There we go. That's it. You're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and put her in her casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You're responsible for taking care of the deceased one's body, but it's also important to pay respects to the loved ones. Oh, she's dead. Yeah, she's dead. She's died. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. That's pretty cool that you get to go to the funeral. Oh, look, she changed. Now she's in our little funeral outfit. Like purple. I mean, yeah, this whole game's aesthetic is purple. Oh, hello. Are the embalming rooms really in the same building as the funeral home? For some reason, I really thought like funeral homes were totally separate from like where they did like cremations and stuff like that. Maybe for some of them they are. Let's talk to some folks. That seems appropriate. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to use chemicals that are known to cause cancer and putting them into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. This is a little kid. What's up? Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Oh, fair. I hate wearing pantyhose. The legs are so itchy, but it's always cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Aw. Who's this? We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I've always been taught. Interesting. There's a little registration book. Shock, me too. Yeah. That's weird. I gotta look that up later. A good YouTube video, if you're like interested in this sort of thing, a good YouTube channel would be Ask a Mortician. She is a mortician and she covers a lot about death industry and like how to be ethical in the death industry and stuff like that. So she's really cool. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. Okay, let's pay respects in this gold casket. There we go. Okay, paid our respects. Cool. Ooh, I'm kind of lagging. Ooh, October 11th, 10. I'm doing some cleaning. Let me see. Hold on. Let me exit to main menu really quick and see if I can... No. That's okay. I don't think it's that bad. Love asking mortician. She actually taught me that I can have my best friend be in charge of my body when I die. What? Good. Definitely good thing. That's important. Especially for like queer folks to like sometimes not have their family in charge of their body. Okay. Let me make sure there's nothing down here. Can I rant for a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though the dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jan, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry, I'm all out of sorts now. I'll send you another email in a little bit once I've cooled off. Okay, let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading to the autopsy believed was too tight lacing around the corset. It's super fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall into the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but it can also be caused by being pregnant, so... Too long didn't read. Corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are kind of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Love, Jen. It's a big softy energy. I would be in and out because I'm going to the laundromat. Okay, that's fine. Funerals monthly, what to wear to a funeral from a different culture. Ooh, interesting. We all know everyone wants to be respectful. Wait, hold on. What? Oh, shit. Here's the prices. Rose and Daughters Funeral Home are committed to providing loved ones with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. We offer a diverse range of personalized funeral service options. Burial with open casket, burial with closed casket, cremation, direct burial with no ceremony or reception, direct cremation with no ceremony or reception. Interesting. I've never seen like how much it costs, so I guess this is like roughly how much like a mom and pop shop costs. Rose and Daughters Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable care for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family business for the last 36 years, working with my best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this hard time. Interesting. Okay. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such a hard time. Who are we to judge? And a big part is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more towards the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes for back in the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol of mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol of mourning, though. And if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice can mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, the typical color of white is the typical color of funerals. I actually knew that. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't important as it is dressed modestly and being able to be appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that. Please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you. So be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if that just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. Let's see. I was driving around the other day, taking clients to their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident totally out of the blue. Real tragic stuff. Messed me up and my friends up real good. But, so, the big day, we got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we were in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know not to get in the way of the procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car? Oh no. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one friend in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in the way that makes you not sure if they're actually crying or if they're fully off the deep end. She laughed and then we all started giggling because, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remember that story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it and I have a strong stomach. So, why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. It's from Garcia's family. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job you did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share a home-cooked meal, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So when I'm saying, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much that was due to the work, your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for this difficult time. Just passing the message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. Okay, next job. Let's see. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family is very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter Lizzie Duval if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. I'll get right on it. So we're embalming this guy. Oh, I'm full surgical gear now. Alright. Let's get embalming, I guess. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Clean. Click the razor and drag it over the body to shave. Okay. In order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Oh. We gotta be massaging corpses. I see. That's kind of cursed. Corpse spa. That's fair. The eyeballs inflate once the body starts decomposing. Ugh. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. Oh god. I am not getting embalmed. Fuck that noise. I don't want no eye caps. I don't want no exploding eyeballs. To keep the eyes shut, you need to glue them. Click and drag the glue into each eye to shut it. Mega cursed. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread it over the jaw to close it. Definitely. I feel like if you were unsure about if you wanted to get embalmed, this game will definitely make you not want to get embalmed. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Man, being a mortician's weird. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalp over the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it to the neck incision. What do they do with all the blood they get rid of? Click on the callula and drag it to the carotid artery. This is how you get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Oh! How do I... Oh, there we go. Click the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. Click. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you have to massage them into the body. Click to massage it. Oh. They just do it at the same time? That's weird. What? Imagine this just being your job. How strange. We live in a society. Oh my gosh. How much more blood does this man have? There we go. Great, now let's sew up this incision. Click and drag the needle and thread over the incision to close it. Almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluid. Click on the tracker and then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquids have been drained. That's the tractor. There we go. Weird. Very weird. Being dead is weird. You're done. Mike will take care of Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Funeral time, baby. Ugh. Ugh. That's just so weird. I don't know. Open casket funerals are so weird because this man just be straight dead and you're just chatting around him. Weird. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, that person's gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about it for too long. Like staring at the sun, I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. Oh, me too. Me fucking too, dude. So weird. This game style reminds me of like early 2000s girly games, you know? I think this actually is an early 2000s game, but I cannot remember for sure. So weird how our bodies just stopped working like that. Yeah. What are y'all talking about? So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different from different family members. I can't remember, but I haven't gotten many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. This kid's just on his DS. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. What are you doing, kid? Humming to himself. Okay, let's pay our respects. Okay, we are done. December 2nd. 10:22 a.m. Clean. I like our outfit. Very cool. What's going on today? Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Meet cutes for death positive cuties. What? Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try and give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. I haven't mentioned anyone new since the breakup of 2014, which we will never speak again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you are of people getting scared to ask about your job. Of people being scared to ask about your job, so maybe meeting someone in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm going to try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum full of dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having the best friend who is much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tender rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works yet, though. Is there actually, like a dating website for, like, the death industry? Because that would be so fucking cool. I'm not even in the death industry, and I'd be like, let me in. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income, and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about the whole thing. I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Ooh. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. Ooh. Who's this to? Oh, to Matthew. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent you this, but I'm also starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking the hearse to the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse out through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15. Ooh, LGBTQ funerals. Interesting. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been... Oh, hold on. Ew, bot. True. Ban. Icky bot. Begone, thought. Thought bot. Begone! There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut and buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. Gross! Wow, that makes me physically ill, actually. That is disgusting. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. This absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. Yo, Goth Angel! Yeah, it's Fallen Angel Serenity time. Hell yeah. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the FROT directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspect the body or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to the observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different. And because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they live. So a step in the right direction. Oh, that's cool. Hello, Key. Hello, Key. That's really cool, actually. I didn't know that. That's cool. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can you do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. That kind of dates this game. That kind of dates this game a little bit, luckily. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is to also ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Hell yeah. Cremation. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing family, just a standard cremation. Don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Okay, I'm on it. We burning some bitches. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we need to prepare her body. Miss Hall's family bought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove those before the cremation process as not to damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. I kind of thought when you cremate, they cremate you with your clothes because that's like the clothes you'll have. This is a game about being in a morgue. Yeah, it's about the death industry, and like in this game you're a mortician and teaches you about like preserving bodies and like what funeral etiquette is and what working in a funeral home is like, stuff like that. Thus the spooky stream theme. Whew, thirsty. It's important to think about what you like in death. Yeah, I think about it a lot. Like ever since I was a teen. Just because I was like, I wonder what I want. I better tell people just in case. Sometimes you don't get to wait till you're old. Click and drag the necklace to place it on the purple tray. We will place the necklace in the urn with Miss Hall's remains later. We need to be able to identify Miss Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag around the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Oh, I put it on her eyeball. Whoops. What I'd like in death, to rest. I mean, true. Great, Mrs. Hall. Miss Hall is all set to be cremated now. But oh, click this. Click. I wonder if they are just big old buttons like that, or if it's a bunch of tiny ones. Oh, over here now. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash as much as bone fragments. Use the cremulator. We'll break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click the urn and drag it to the cremulator nozzle. It's like a smoothie dispenser, but for dead bodies. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the cremulator. Just toss them. Just toss them. Oh, okay. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back onto the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Click on the necklace and drag it to the urn. Don't forget the tag. Put the round identification tag and return it to the urn. Last step. Click on the urn's leg and drive it to the top of the urn. Done. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Funeral time. Come on. Go away. Getting a notification. I don't think I want to be cremated. I wouldn't mind being cremated, but it's not what I prefer. And if I was cremated, I would want to be sprinkled somewhere. You know, feed the plants and all that. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up. Not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She wanted us smiling. She said so. I would want people to be smiling as well at my funeral. I want it to be a party. I want it to be lit as fuck. Get that sad shit out of here. February 14th. Oh, so it's been like a year since we started working here, I think. Oh no, this doesn't look good. News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to you to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me this would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. So be direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use her services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. I want to get cremated and my ashes turned into a vinyl, and in that vinyl I want my favorite song, one or many vinyls. That's really cool. I like that idea, actually. That's pretty cool. I like when people turn their ashes into stuff. That's pretty awesome. The original Rose in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we can take on more business. Corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know how the way it goes. Whoa, sorry. So we've been bought, or I sold, either way soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of the new month. Ew. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Homes for tax purposes. That's sketch. Okay. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. Yeah, that's gross. I'm not into that. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and they've agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I admittedly didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me, please understand. Tales from the Crypts. Oh! Turn my ashes into adult toy so I can still fuck. You banned. I'm banning you. You banned. I don't know what these symbols mean. Okay, so we literally sold out. That sucks. That sucks. Also, it's super skeevy that they're keeping the name to look like a family-run business, even though they're a corporation. Like, I don't know, I'm super scared of that. Super scared of shit like that, where it's just like a secret company tricking people. That sucks. Margarita Hall. I'm so internally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service. She would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. Ooh. Wait, hold on. Ryan Garcia. Is this the same Garcia family as before? That's pretty common in the death industry. Yeah, unfortunately. I really hate it. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a good, full life, and was very happy, and she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer to me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can be. I need someone to talk to and tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. You're not an inconvenience. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable thing for some people. Usually I'd be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. It would be good for you to start building these kind of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. A challenger approaches. Charlie! I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from a Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, I want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghost. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to for one of us is in town next. Blit! Keep on protecting the earth with green burials. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out when you can. So why not continue doing that in death? At least that's the thinking a lot for people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. Oh, I didn't know that. You're our treasure. That's so sweet. That is sweet. I didn't know it was cheaper. Shit. Being good for the environment's better on your family's budget. Hell yeah. At the Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore and preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Incidence of leukemia. That's unfortunate. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. I definitely want a green funeral, for sure. Put me in that biodegradable casket, baby. Bury me with the mushrooms. Marinara Reese. You asked if there was any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. I'm gonna be a cherry tree. Do it. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Sounds good. Being a cherry tree would be cool. Pacemakers are kind of like dangerous for like everything. I feel like everything's like, if you have a pacemaker, don't do this. Mr. Rees came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide us for any to include. However, Mr. Rees has a pacemaker and we'll need to remove that before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine. We definitely don't want that. Holy shit. What if you don't know? Like, what do you do if you're cremating someone and you don't know if they have a pacemaker? Do you have to, like, poke around inside them first? Like, I don't know. Let's start by removing Mr. Ray's pacemaker. Click the scalpel and drag it over. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Oh, there we go. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification tag in the coffin. It's all set to be cremated. Push that button. Okay. Using the cremoliner will break the bone fragments down into ash. Place the urn. Alley-oop that skull. Alley-oop that shit into the cremulator. Put the urn back on the counter. Put that in ding tag and put it on the lid. All done, Amy will take the thing to funeral. Blah, 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 blah. Funeral time. Let us go. Oh, this one's kind of big. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's it. Stubborn. Ooh, that's rough. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere? Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Did I ever tell you that time we tailgated? This man looks upset. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. Yikes. It does make a lot of sense for you, Boba. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed to really care if I was there or not. This man sounds kind of like an asshole. I'm gonna be honest. I think this dead guy's an asshole. But I'll still pay respects. February 28th. Washing our little hands. Okay. Ooh. Got a lot less emails today. Hi, Amy. I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet, and it hasn't been easy. Thought I'd pass this along to you. Mushrooms! Mushrooms! You hate mushrooms so much. I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker. Look what you've done to me. And I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, so I'm writing you on my phone so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wear. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help decompose the bodies, neutralize toxins in the bodies, and provide nutrients for the soil and plants. I think this one company has offered casket liners for the use in green caskets. Never mind, I want that. Make me a fairy ring. Do it! This is the kind of guy you'd send to a nursing home, true. But yes, wear the mushroom suit. Put on instead of put on the maid outfit, just put on the mushroom suit. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovations happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know what your thoughts are. I want all of your thoughts. If not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Things to avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought we'd do a listicle, what would be the best way to deliver this month's advice, what not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people. But fortunately, we deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here is Funeral Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral. At least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this, / it's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told the death of someone they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be a jerk and just don't say it. Were they saved? No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. They're with the angels now. See above notes, then rinse, repeat. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list, it can just be applied to any situation. Don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say I'm sorry if you don't know what else to say. True. What is this? Our son. I can choose I'm comfortable with this or I'm not comfortable. Uh-oh. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregards our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and doesn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Ooh. Oh no. Okay. I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation. Yet, anyways. They're never easy. Rosendaughters has been asked to prepare a body for a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are comfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable with dealing with? Let me know I'm here if you need me. Jeez, what an asshole. I mean, Jesus. Just do what your son wants, man. Yeah, I'm comfortable with this topic. Let's do this, unfortunately. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. I don't know why you wouldn't just do what the dead person wants. You know, they're dead. Just do the one last thing for them, you know? Break rigor mortis. Whoop. 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 Moisturize. It's nice that the game asks you if you want to deal with this or do something else. That's nice. Poor guy. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, me too. It sucks because, you know, it's like a thing that happens probably frequently. Wait. No, I did the wrong thing. But now I know I need a power of attorney if I die. I don't think my family would do something like this, but it's nice to know that there's like a way to supersede your family's wishes when you die. God, this takes a while. I wonder how long it takes, like, in real life. I feel like it must take forever. Wait, no, this thing. Oh, well done. Mike will take care of Scott's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. Time to pay my respects to his shit family. I hate all of you. I blame all of you. You are all bad people. Nothing. Quiet sobs. I wish we were closer. Well, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. Must be hard. Jeez. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know? Been able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. You wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It hurts. Yeah, I know. My best friend is going to be my power of attorney because a relative said once that funerals aren't for the dead, they're for those who are still alive. And honestly, not a vibe. Can we punch the dad? Yes to both of those statements. Yes, for sure. I heard it wasn't going to be an open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. Pay my respects. Sorry, dude. Yeah, funerals are for the dead people, though. Like, for sure. Like, 100% they are for the people who have died. They help the living, but they're not for them. It's like one last big party you're throwing before you... Well, I guess not before you die. But after you die, it's one last big party. Chad Grant. I don't trust this man. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage's Imprises Inc. I don't trust no guy named Chad Grant. Fuck this guy. I hate you. They will be another institution among hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. Culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out a memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to know to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters right now. They got a site. They didn't really change the website, but they changed the text. We offer many packages fitted to suit every style of gathering and budget. Ask us about our selection of caskets, urns, and headstones, the largest in the country. It's so corporate now. Ew. Bronze funeral package. An intimate gathering and memorial for your loved ones. Customized to fit your individual needs. Best suited for groups of 25 to 50. Subject to additional fees and taxes. Ew. Gross corporate death. True. Silver funeral package. A small but special celebration for your loved one. Best suited for groups of 50 to 100. Payment plans available. Gold funeral package. Give your loved one the best with the best we have to offer. A large gathering to celebrate your loved one. Best suited for groups over 100. Way to make them feel guilty into buying the gold package because it's the best package for your dead loved one. Call us 24/7 for a quote. Ugh, nasty. Rose and Daughters is the newest funeral home to join Hillside Heritage, proudly serving 56 different communities nationwide since 1964. Rose and Daughters features several available packages for burials and cremations, a spacious visitation suite for added comfort, and catering available on site. Rely on our dedicated and friendly staff to help with your funeral needs, whether you need our immediate assistance for a loved one or would like to pre-plan your own final arrangements. I'm gonna tell my family to not go to a funeral home where they have packages like this. Like, fuck that. What the hell? Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap? Ugh, I know how these corporations run. I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No? Okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for a funeral? It feels so dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow us some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do that. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. Ugh. That's so sad. You're invited to attend a death cafe. What? Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most in their finite lives. Join us have a tea and cake and talk with others about your thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at Upside Down Jar next Thursday, Death Cafe. I want to go to a Death Cafe. What? Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I can do with an inaugural hernia from 1750 hernia in inguinal hernia. I'm struggling. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see bits of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when I have it cataloged. What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? But anyways, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk to some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death positive people there. Sounds like it'd be a safe space. Death Cafe. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, maybe something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning. Oh, is my stream dropping? Oh no. Stop doing that. Please, I'm begging you. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths of dealing with death, but the goal is always almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after someone has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial. Under the advanced menu setting, just say what? Under the advanced menu setting. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that requires family to remove a loved one's body from his burial place after 60 years. Jesus. Many families began to cremate more often. But there are also companies that compress the remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expenses of cremation. Interesting. Chad Grant. Cremation. He also didn't send me, any messages from, the family. He didn't forward me any of them. Fuck you. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Below are the details of our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're all done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Oh, so he just has no soul then. I'll get right to it. Hate you, man. Oh, she looks okay to me. With the watch, place on the tray, identification tag. Ooh, I need some water. Lubricate my throat. Break the bone fragments down. Oh, urn. I always forget the urn. Boop. 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 Oh, shit. Boop. Put it back on the counter, put the watch in there, put the tag in there, put the lid on. To the funeral! Okay, let's talk to some people. Should we do a visual at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of it all. Yeah, after this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with this death of their partner all by themselves. Oh no. Not gay death. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No. Thanks, I mean, but no. I don't know. It's so intimate. I feel like I should do it by myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah, she was special. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. Pay respects. Back to work. March 24th, 10:30 a.m. Taking care of my little plant. What we got going on today? Rules and code of conduct. Conduct. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. As stated in the previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises. First and foremost, there's a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this, is no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. Fuck you. Fuck you. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e. always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. Oh god. What is this, retail? We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Ugh. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased family ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner catering concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted in the morning of the funeral. I expect all the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition to the high quality services of Heritage Enterprises is known for. You giving these grieving people defrosted sandwiches from a factory? I want to die. Jesus, that's so shitty. It's shittier knowing it's real, that people like upsell to like grieving people. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work. P.S. I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry, ever. Green burial policy? Oh no. Oh no. I have reviewed your request on behalf of the potential family, inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this at the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost-effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hill Heritage Enterprises must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so try your hardest to convince the family requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you to ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. You didn't even call me Charlie. That's so gross. He is gross. This is a gross company. Gross organization. Gross. Yeah, I know you wanted a green a green barrel, but what about the exact opposite instead? Buy the exact opposite. I just saw a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. As a species, I've seen the beginning of our end. Funerals monthly. Home funerals. Why do it? Home funerals. Okay. The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are so quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. But isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased bodies at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time and it can be further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, they are more economical. A traditional funeral complete with body preparation, service, flower cards, and many other hidden costs and fees can cost upwards to $1,000 to $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved one and yourself, to wash them, dress them, and organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have a loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing the burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book, but just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones as you so choose. Oh no, I don't know if I can handle them being at my house. That's a little too intimate for me. I know a lot of cultures do that, but I don't know if I could, personally. I wouldn't care if someone kept my dead body at their house, though. Do it. Take selfies with it. Latest contract acquisition, the city. Jeez. Just everything he says is so corporate. It's so unpersonal now. Jesus. Jeez. Okay. I'm proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Stop calling me Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost-effective of the two options. The first unclean body will be hanging belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver besides the cremation. I'll take care of it. So we just cremating a homeless man that the city found. That's sad. No one thinks about what happens to homeless people when they die. Before we cremate this gentleman, we need to prepare his body. That's right, we don't even know this man's name. We know nothing about him, and we're cremating him. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag in the coffin with him. This gentleman is all set to be cremated now. That's nice that you're calling him a gentleman. It is really upsetting. Yeah, it is. I feel like this would be dealing with, like, young deaths, homeless deaths, and, like LGBTQ deaths would, I feel like, be absolutely the hardest, for me if I was a mortician. Urn. Urn back on the counter. Tag. Lid. All done, Matthew will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it along some flowers. Yeah, Amy can't do it anymore. Okay, funeral time. Oh. We're the only one at his funeral. That is very sad. Actually, that's very sad. But at least we're here, so we'll pay our respects to this man. Even though we didn't know his name or who he was, we'll still respect him. Jeez. Jeez! April 9th. Jeez. Latest contract acquisition, hospital. We are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us to access all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity ward. Oh god. Oh god. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over a bunch of money in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprises' bright and sustained future. Don't be happy that these people are fucking dying en masse. Jesus. Matthew Jeffrey. I'm done. Charlie, it's official. I put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporations 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I'm worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. No, not my friends leaving. Jen Love. I kissed her. Ooh. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried that you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like the last dude I saw, Jason Michael. I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and she's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of the Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support, 100%, no matter what you decide. What am I gonna do? What am I doing? What do you mean my last email? I can't read my emails. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Cremation. Water cremation? What? We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or, more commonly, resomation. It's a technical name, though. It's kind of actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever you want to call it, it's here and it's environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment. The high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gases effect has been one of the chief among them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that usually is really strong alkaline water heated up very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at the factory, and the alkaline hydrolysis usually uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places it became legal around the end of the first decade in the Oxt. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. Interesting. I've never heard of that before. Water cremation. Register a business? What is your business? Funeral services. If you're interested in starting a funeral service business, you may need the following permits and license. Articles of incorporation. The applicant must file articles of incorporation, BC1 form. Register a business name for the corporation. Register a sole proprietor. Are we starting our own funeral home? That's cool. Oh no. Home funeral for my wife. Regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Thanks. Kofi Demka. I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one last time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our preparation food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on your day. You and your daughter are going through a hard time now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. This is disgusting! Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Fuck! I hate that. Yuck. I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for lessons on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That's part of your job. Kill this man. Yes, let's kill this man. I'll get right on it. Fuck y'all. Gotta embalm this woman who didn't even want it. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Well, not really, but they were forced into one. Oh, whoops. They cover the titties, so no titties can be seen in this game. Cotton balls in mouth, so the jaw shut. Moisturize the body. Make an incision on the neck. Turn on the machine. Boop. 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 Let people bring their own food to the funeral. Fuck y'all. That bothers me. Wait, no. Wrong thing once again. Oh. Meg will take care of it. Okay. Just putting her in her casket. Let's go to the funeral. Okay. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. Okay. It's so cold in here. I think they have air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. Good to stretch my legs. This feels So impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh hey, what do you think of the trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I heard that show was so good. I saw the video of that one kid actor doing karaoke. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey. But what that Chad guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. I wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Don't be too hard on yourself. What? Something's... Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. I hate that Chad man. Let dead people do what they want. They're dead, god damn it. August 30th, 9 a.m. Oh! Hello? This is a new building. Wearing a little outfit. What the fuck? Congratulations from Amy Rose. Charlie dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always here to help. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. You'll never believe what new job I am working now. Open this email to find out. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering, it was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree, but thankfully I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working with, wait for it, a bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? I'm pretty sure I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering. I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me. I don't know why. You've never seemed to be the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screamy children, I might add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute. Don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing your Matthew J. So he went from a hearse driver to a bus driver. That's kind of funny. From the end of life to the beginning. Congrats on your new business. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now, but I can't wait to be home next week for our visit and check out your new space. Always, Jen L. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link to 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Let's look. Ooh! Magnolia Forest, funeral home and natural burial park. Ooh, we got a little green funeral home. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home, specialize at-home funerals and green burials in our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families and encourage them to have a close relationship with death and the dying process. The death of a loved one can be confusing and sometimes traumatic time. We want you to feel fully involved in your loved one's death care decisions. Whether you're looking to care for your loved one from the comfort of your home, be present during the cremation, or bury them in our natural cemetery, Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple yet intimate and meaningful options. Natural Burial Park. Our natural burial park allows the body to return to the earth and recycle naturally. It is intended as an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Families also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves, if they so choose. Aww. We believe in being transparent about our prices and practices. We are happy to explain all our prices and work within your budget and help to make you comfortable and confident in your sessions. Let us know if you can answer our questions. That's true. When we switched over to the corporation, they took all the prices off the website. Funeral home, $1,000 all inclusive. Green burial and services, $25 all inclusive. Infants are buried at no charge. We can provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing the grave. Aw. No charge for infants. Direct cremation is $600. Eileen Hansen. Dear Charlie, today's the day, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1. I'll see you soon. Guess it's funeral time. Get to show my tattoos. Oh. They're burying them themselves. Is this a little mushroom plot? This hurts. Ooh, chatty Charlie. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyways, I think we're ready to get started now. Aww. That's so sweet, though. A Mortician's Tale. That was nice. Also very informational. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know about, and I felt like I knew a lot about the death industry already. Friends and families. Nice. Aw, they credited their pets. That's so cute. Yay, credits. This was lovely. It was very nice. I think people should really learn about industries like this. I do agree that it makes people more comfortable with stuff like this. To actually know what's going on, what's happening, what it's like. Somber, but like nice. Yeah, I agree. It was very nice. Handled very well. Okay, well, I really gotta use... Oh, this was made in my Providence? Nice! I really gotta use the bathroom, though, so I will be right back. I will see y'all in a sec. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Welcome to the SCP section of the stream. Oh, you know what? I should set up some music in the background. That's a great idea. What's something SCP appropriate? Yeah, I'll just put on some lo-fi. Fuck it. Lo-fi. No, I don't want this one. Let's do an anime girl one. Let's do this one. Yeah. Lo-fi SCP readings. Now let me change my tags. Try ambient noises. Ooh. Gonna have spooky SCP shit while I cook dinner because I'm too tired. Well, I ordered dinner because I'm too tired to cook. Yeah, we'll try ambient noises. Ooh, this is a good one. Hell yeah. Some brain sounds. Oh, that's perfect. Great suggestion. Thank you. More like edgy Pokemon. True. Okay, now we got some spooky track. Okay, once again, yeah, I guess just trigger warning for general spookiness. And maybe there might be some gross topics or something. But yeah, we're gonna start with SCP 2006. And I have some of the fan names written down, so I'm gonna just SCP 2006 is also known as Too Spooky. So I thought he'd be turned down into web. Oh. Is that better? Definitely don't want it to supersede my voice. Too quiet. Dang it. How's that? Is that better? There we go. Okay, awesome. Okay. So I thought Too Spooky would be a great way to start off the reading. And I'm basically going to just read SCPs until my voice can't take it no more. So, okay. SCP 2006. Object Class Keter. SCP 2006 is to be contained at Site 118 in an airtight containment cell. SCP 2006 must be constantly monitored for changes in forms which are to be noted immediately. All personnel coming into contact with SCP 2006 are required to enroll in an acting course with a focus on expressing fear and surprise. Every month, SCP 2006 is to be shown at least one new extremely low-quality horror or science fiction movie containing horror elements. All interactions with SCP 2006 must confirm that SCP 2006 continues to believe that said works demonstrate a superb grasp of horror. Description: 2006 is an anomalous spherical entity roughly 50 centimeters in diameter when it is in its default state. 2006's stated goals is to cause feelings of fear and or horror in as many humans as possible. To accomplish this purpose, 2006 possesses the ability to change its shape, mass, volume, density, chemical structure, and voice to any form that it desires. Currently, there is no known way to damage 2006. The extent of its shape-shifting abilities is unknown, and it is currently thought to be unlimited. Currently, 2006 has demonstrated a fondness for taking the forms of various entities and villains from the various horror and science fiction movies that it has witnessed. The most common form that SCP-2006 has taken is that of Ro-Man from the 1953 movie Robot Monster. 2006 is capable of speaking even when it possesses the form of an entity that is normally unable to speak. 2006 will generally attempt to startle and or scare any individuals it comes into contact with, but after doing so, it will become affable and friendly. The reason behind this is currently unknown. Although 2006 has repeatedly stated its goal is of causing as much fear as possible, 2006 is a poor judge of concepts that cause fear in humans and is constantly searching for new methods in which to accomplish its goal. This poor recognition, there we go, extends to recognition of emotions in humans, as 2006 is incapable of distinguishing between subtle differences in emotions that would be obvious to a human. Let's review the log, the interview log. Interview is Dr. Loof, and interviewed is 2006. Dr. Loof enters the room. 2006 is seen crouched near the door. 2006 is in its Roman form. 2006 proceeds to leap out of its crouch, throwing its arms in the air. Fear me, mortal! I am the mighty Roman! Cower in fear! Dr. Loof screams and stumbles backwards, raising his hands in protection. Please, mighty Roman, don't hurt me! 2006 laughing. It's just me, Doc. I got you pretty good, didn't I? 2006? Oh, dear Lord, you really frightened me there. I was about to have a heart attack. It's what I do, Doc. Haha, boo! Dr. Loof stumbles again. Still got it. So what was that? There's something you wanted to talk about, Doc? Yes, I was wondering, why exactly do you need to cause fear in others? I don't understand the question. That is, why do you scare people? Oh, that's an easy one. I scare people because it's fun, and it's what I do. Just like you do your doctory stuff, I do scary stuff. I'm the best at it. I don't really see what else there is about it. That you are. I'll take my leave then. Come back around soon. I'll have some really scary stuff next time. By the way, I will eat your soul! Let me out of here, I'm gonna die of fright! Addendum. The current site director of Site 118 has issued the following mandatory regarding SCP-2006. I have been getting reports of some lax behavior regarding 2006. Many personnel have heard laughing at 2006 during surveillance when it watches a new movie or when it attempts to scare individuals. Some personnel have heard questioning why 2006 is classified as a Keter entity. Well, I'm here to remind you that a Keter entity is a Keter entity, regardless of how innocuous it may seem. No, SCP-2006 is not a rampaging demigod, nor is a regenerating super lizard. However, it possesses the same level of danger as any other Keter that the Foundation has contained. Think of SCP-2006's purpose. It wishes to scare people. Imagine what would happen if SCP-2006 broke containment and found out what really scared people. Imagine if it saw the horror and fear of war, the concepts of paranoia or phobias common to each and every human being. Imagine if it found the true horror of a nuclear holocaust or an XK class scenario. Now couple that with an entity that possesses shape-shifting abilities with no known limits, and you'll understand why it's classified as Keter. All personnel mentioned have been suitably disciplined. I do not want to hear about this again. Dr. Randall Owings, Site 118 Director. 2006 is so freaking cute. True! I love him. He is cute. There he is. Let's give this a plus. No, never mind. Yeah, I love the concept of just like, this creature wants to be spooky. Better not ever let him know it's actually spooky or we're all doomed. Okay. Where did my phone go? Oh, there it is. Let's see who we want to do next. Sorry, I have a list, so I'm just looking through it. Let's do SCP 2939. I hope that will bring up what I want. Hello? Will you... Oh, God. I'm gonna have to Control F. Okay, SCP-2939, Big Narf, in other words. Calcutta Darling's Big Narf main studio. Is 354 on your list? Let me see. I don't think so. 354? No, I do not think so. Which one is 354? Because I will also take just suggestions right now. SCP-2939. Object Class Euclid. Provisional pending adoption of containment procedures. Special containment procedures. No containment procedure for the SCP-2939 manifestation phenomenon has currently been finalized. Global Committee NOS-12 NARF herders has been assigned in a fact-finding capacity to document 2939 Big Narf manifestations and to devise and propose special containment procedures 2939 for submission to the Site Director's Executive Committee of the Whole. SCP-2939 is a phenomenon involving apparently spontaneous addition of the phrase Big Narf to the description of an upcoming event, gathering, or other group social endeavors. In all observed cases thus far, the addition of the phrase presages the cancellation of said event, whether aborting the event already in progress or preventing its scheduled beginning. 2939 Big Narf manifestations are a newly observed phenomenon, as the Foundation has not currently discovered details and manifestation before blank of this year. As such, containment theory remains under development, and the exact mechanisms by which 2939 Big Narf manifestations occur is unknown. Merely adding the phrase Big Narf to the description of an upcoming event does not cause its cancellation. In significant tests by GCN-12 to date, only additions of the phrase Big Narf spontaneously by no observed mechanism or party appear to trigger SCP-2939. The phrase Big Narf, then, is currently considered to be a calling card for the event rather than a self-propagating mimetic hazard in of itself. Selected 2939 Big Narf manifestations. The following is a selection of 2939 Big Narf manifestations observed by GCN-12 to date. Full details are available to Level 1 2939 staff and to other Foundation staff upon request. A handwritten poster for an upcoming show by the band Calcutta Darlings at Main Street Studios in Walla Walla, Washington, United States, was shown on a private business's security footage to spontaneously lift Big Narf as the opening band 3 days before the concert. This purported opening band was added to the poster between frames of the security footage. The listing of the opening band matched, in the opinion of handwriting experts, the original handwriting of the advertisement. The concert did not go on as planned, as Calcutta Darlings bassist Migmay Wei fell ill with influenza prior to the show. Local task force interviewers determined that none of the 3 band members were aware of Big Narf. A Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament in Bend, Oregon, United States, bracket on an online tournament listing website was updated mid-tournament to list Big Narf in Pool 13, scheduled to begin at 12 p.m. local time. At 12:06, when the first match of Pool 13 began, the player JMF, The Problem, and Frog Dad was about to begin on the event's Twitch stream. The venue of the event, a local video game and collectible card store, lost power, cutting off the stream and forcing the event to close. The online tournament listing website servers logs were pulled and displayed no originating user action of the bracket change, and the tournament participants and organizers, when interviewed, indicated no knowledge of the purported player. A slam poetry event in Corvallis, Oregon, United States was evacuated due to a fire in the cafe hosting the event. Big Narf was listed on the Facebook event as one of the poets performing. Other events canceled by 2939 Big Narf manifestations include wine tastings, a group sage grouse birdwatching expedition, 3 Little League baseball games where Big Narf is listed on the lineup cards, all rained out, and a bar trivia night. Currently active containment theory proposals. All SCP-2939 incidents have currently been restricted to the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. which most manifestations occurring East Oregon and Washington area. No more than one manifestation has ever been observed per day, and manifestations have not yet occurred in two disparate areas in times faster than average vehicle transportation between those two areas. Current containment theory holds that an individual, entity, or group bound by human transportation limits and primarily residing in the eastern Washington or Oregon area is responsible for SCP-2939. GCN-12 members are currently researching individuals involved in video gaming, music, and related culture groups in the areas affected by SCP-2939. Actively pursued containment theories include an individual or group with malicious intent is attempting to cause harm to a career or hobby prospects of a person or persons involved in events in the region. An individual or group is counterintuitively attempting to protect a person or person at these events, as 6 venues involved in SCP-2939 manifestations so far were found to have had electrical fire or safety deficiencies. An individual or a group is intentionally attempting to draw attention to the SCP Foundation operations in the region. Level 3 2939 personnel may view and update LLN below. Other containment theories currently not actively pursued include the 2939 Big Narc manifestations are self-propagating mimetic phenomenon, that 2939 Big Narc cancellations are non-anomalous sabotage and out of scope of the Foundation, and that Big Narc manifestations are a complete hoax on part of the Foundation employees. Okay. Do I want to read the footnotes? Nah, no footnotes. To the Advisory Committee, our wide-ranging interviews in the wake of the Big Narc events appear to have drawn the attention of whoever responsible for 2939. 3 straight attempts to conference call with my regional captains for updates were disrupted with Big Narf listed in the agenda for the meetings. I scheduled an emergency meeting with strict instructions that there would be no agenda for the call, and found myself unable to pick up the phone, paralyzed by anxiety over whether I'd say about what exactly I'd say about Big Narf. I believe this is the first example of a non-written 2939 event. I'm sending this up the ladder. Our group has been compromised, either from within or without, and needs to have this investigation taken out of our hands. Big Narf is in my head every time I try to organize anything. My deputy reports the same. This is bigger than some cancelled concert. It's not some juvenile POI making a joke. If it is, it's gotten out of hand. Run this up the chain and don't tell us a damn thing. I'll hold everyone and tell them the investigation is continuing. I'll look forward to the visit from the medics. Alex Kortig, Chairperson, Global Community, Narf Herders. Big Narf. I love Big Narf. Big Narf is so good. Big Narf. Okay, who's next? Who's next after Narf? Let's do 2941. 2941, do not eat or inspire. Yeah, this is a good one. SCP-2941, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All known instances of SCP-2941 are to be kept within separate and fully isolated biocontainment chambers within Biological Containment Site 103. Instances should be provided with 4 to 6 hours of direct light from an overhead fluorescent. Each instance of SCP-2941 must be checked at least 4 times a day to confirm the specimen's morale levels fall within mandated guidelines. For more information, see Document 2941 M5. Any measurements of specimens' morale levels falling above standard containment parameters should be reported immediately to the current project head. Should standard demoralization acts prove insufficient, please consult Document 2941 DM1 for Stage B countermeasures. Since Incident 2941-32, interaction with SCP-2941 is limited to researchers with Level 3 clearance. Additionally, transport of SCP-2941 instances to and from Site-103 research wings must be carried out and pre-approved routes free of Foundation personnel traffic. Description. 2941 is a collective designation for an anomalous population of fruits and vegetables. Instances of SCP-2941 only superficially resemble their non-anomalous counterparts, and differ from non-anomalous fruits and vegetables in both behaviors and growth patterns. SCP-2941 instances possess limited sensory awareness and are capable of locomotion, and furthermore, some have shown the ability to speak, though how 2941 instances manage to vocalize is currently unknown. Under optimal containment conditions, the physical size of each instance of SCP-2941 conforms to the average size of a comparable specimen in the particular species. However, rapid growth will occur when any instance of SCP-2941 is presented with verbal and or physical affection, as well as any kind of positive reinforcement. So you just gotta keep those veggies down. You gotta insult those vegetables. Instances will also exhibit this property when engaging in pleasurable activities. No upper bounds of SCP-2941's enlargement has shown through on-site testing and by Foundation computer modeling. Proper demoralization must be maintained on a regular basis for any instance left alone for a period of between 3 to 5 hours will begin growing at a noticeable rate. Foundation researchers have hypothesized that each instance of 2941 has an innate, highly positive self-image that must be countered at all times. What kind of SCP is this one? We'll be back for 10 minutes. This is a bunch of fruit and vegetables you need to insult constantly or else they'll kill you. You can't let them feel good about themselves. It's called Do Not Eat or Inspire. Okay, let's get into this. SCP-2941-1. Red Delicious Apple. Primary pleasure vector involves rolling around in a circular path within its containment cell until researchers were able to convince SCP-2941 that any movement at all will awaken a massive parasitic worm living inside it. It should continue to be made clear that removing the worm from -1 is simply beyond the Foundation's capabilities. Fuck you, veggies. True. Insult that fruit. -2 is Fennel. Main moral boost comes from engaging in a popular children's game, Peekaboo, by being placed underneath a piece of fabric large enough to completely cover it, and then having the fabric quickly pulled away. Tests show that -2's greatest demoralization occurs when the fabric is simply left covering -2, but no attempt is made to assist it when it tries to roll free. The longest to date that -2 has been trapped beneath the fabric is 16 days, as test models predicted, coincided with a record low morales. Oh no, but I want to be nice to the vegetables. They will kill you! Do not be nice to the vegetables! -3 is a honeydew melon. It is very quick to notice nearby individuals and repeatedly vocalize questions regarding the quality of its roundness. To minimize misunderstandings on -3's part, researchers must be sure to always respond to such query with the statement, "You are a hideous cube." -4. Cadaverous dish banana. Compulsively attempts to show off its ability to balance vertically on its stem. -4 will always be contained within a biochamber specifically modified with a floor that constantly pivots up and down at random angles and directions, preventing -4 from balancing. -5 is a green pepper. Regularly vocalizes concerns about the well-being of the rest of the SCPs. -5 will always be told that all the other specimens would made it clear to the Foundation personnel that they wish -5 would mind its own business and its consideration is unwarranted. Oh, that one's kind of sad. He just wants to know how his friends are doing. They're like, they all hate you. That would make me demoralized as well. -6 is a Persian lime. -6's morale has been shown to markedly increase when placed in a silent containment cell. Researchers are to do hourly checks to confirm that the speaker placed within -6's current biochamber is functioning correctly and that the audio file chosen by the current head researcher is playing on an uninterrupted loop of a minimum of 90 decibels. At the time writing, the sound of knife scraping a glass bottle has been playing for 84 days. -7 is a turnip. -7 has expressed repeated desire to only be referred to as Terry. Foundation personnel has expressly forbidden from doing so, but if absolutely necessary, they should refer to -7 directly, condescendingly, and repeating any other name besides Terry. Names producing the most severe demoralization vectors so far include Ferguson, Wingding, and Buds. This turnip does not want to be called Buds. Don't call him Buds. Don't call him Terry, it's Buds, or Ferguson, or Wingding. -8 button mushrooms. As this pair is shown to prefer close visual contact, each separate -8 instance should be kept in detached, opaque chambers, a minimum of 4 meters apart. If the situation requires, researchers are allowed to converse with -8 instances separately, with the sole focus on pointing out how the other member of the pair has been given the opportunity to place back together, but voluntarily and happily turned it down. Oh, poor twins. -9 is a peach. -9 has often expressed displeasure with all forms of physical contact by Foundation researchers. Any researcher involved with the study of -9 should mark on Form 9C how many times they were able to flick -9 with their finger throughout their work shift. -10 is a cantaloupe. -10 has a predilection for wanting to tell jokes to Foundation staff. Morale reduction has been maximized by initiating procedure 2941-10A, 10 alpha, which dictates that -10 be allowed to tell any joke it wishes, but should be addressed immediately afterward with angrily delivered comments regarding how poorly the joke was constructed and or how -10 has profoundly hurt the joke recipient's feelings. And -11 is an eggplant. As long as -11 has been under Foundation's care, it has repeatedly vocalized only one sentence without variation. Hoo boo, I love you. -11's morale has, through much experimentation, shown to decrease the most when addressed with the carefully enunciated response, you should be hurled into the trash. Poor eggplant. Incident 2941-32. Due to a sudden and substantial water leak from Site 103's Arctic Gardens, one floor directly above SCP-2939-3's containment cell, a decision was made by a junior research Metcalf to temporarily move -3 to an empty research room down the hall. At the same time, this one's the -3 is the honeydew melon. At the time, testing had just finished for the day with SCP blank and 10 Class D personnel. As the remaining 7 were being led back on the on-site Class D barracks, they passed Metcalf transporting -3 to the opposite way down the same corridor. Ignoring established transport silence protocols, D34987 was later heard from recovered surveillance camera footage to call out loudly, "Hey, baby, those are some nice round melons you got there." Junior research Metcalf and 7 Class D personnel and 2 security officers leading them and 13 other nearby Foundation site staff were instantly crushed when -3 underwent the most rapid growth ever recorded by an SCP-2941 instance. Establishing morale levels low enough to recontain SCP-3 took 8 hours, and updated containment procedures were immediately put into effect. Do not compliment these fruit. They will crush you. These fruit will kill you. Be mean to them. Leave them under a sheet for several hours. And tell them they're ugly. Or else you will die. Okay. Don't eat or inspire. It's in the name. Don't eat or inspire. Terrible melons you got there. Awfully cube-shaped. Even. Let's do... I love that one. That one's such a great one. Let's do the pan-dimensional vending machine. So that's 261. Ugh. No, that's 262. Does it... Can it let me go? No. SCP-261. Pan-dimensional coffee machine from Series 1. Where is it? 261. Pan-dimensional vending machine. SCP-261. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. Any access to SCP-261 must be approved by staff with Level 2 security clearance or higher. Any and all items dispensed by SCP-261 must be recorded, along with the amount of money entered and the amount of time elapsed between uses. Currently, 261 may be used only 10 times in a 24-hour period with no transaction exceeding the equivalence of 500 Japanese yen. Testing approved by Site Command is not under these restrictions. Items dispensed by 261 should be reviewed by site health and safety officials before consumption. Failure to do so releases the Foundation from any obligation regarding negative effects. Items deemed dangerous or useful to research will be confiscated. Why can't I say this word? It will be taken by state security. Confiscated. There we go. I was struggling. With financial compensation provided for the proportion of money spent. Description. SCP-261 appears to be a large black vending machine with no front glass panel and a small keypad on the right side. SCP-261 was recovered in Yokohama, Japan. SCP-261 was brought to the Foundation's attention after the investigations of an urban legend about a magic vending machine that was circulating on the internet. SCP-261 was found in a back alley behind a large shopping center with a handwritten note saying out of order in Japanese taped to it. SCP-261 has no marks or identification of any kind, and no locals remember how or when it got there. Internally, SCP-261 appears to be a basic vending machine equipped to vend food and beverage items. After a key was made and the front door opened, no abnormal materials were found, and it was determined that SCP-261 has never actually contained any food or beverage items. The keypad was connected and operated correctly, does not activate any of the dispensing mechanisms. When money is placed in SCP-261 and a 3-digit number is entered on the keypad, 261 will vend a random item. 261 has not accepted any currency other than yen, with rejected currency being deposited in the coin slot below. It is unknown how these items appear. However, 261 will not operate when the door is open or when a recording device is placed inside. The number entered on the keypad has no effect on the item vended, nor has any pattern been detected. Items are always from some sort of snack food and typically have bright, attention-grabbing packaging. 261 is capable of operating with no external power supplies, but operation in this state will cause unstable vending to occur much more frequently than normal. If SCP-261 is used several times in a short period of time and or large amounts of money are entered in the before the item is vended, 261 will start to dispense bizarre items. While still food, their suitability for human consumption is awfully non-existent. Logs of vended during testing phase 8. 800 yen entered for each item, items being dispersed every 2 minutes. SCP-261 is attached to power. Okay, let's see. Coke Zero, a can of Diet Coke, packaging in English. Cheetos, a small bag of Cheetos, packaged in English. Black, a single pack of caffeinated chewing gum, packaging in Japanese. Yan, a single yan cone with peach dip frosting, packaging in Japanese. The Meiji Seika company does not produce this flavor. I'm sorry, I can't say that. Pepsi, Dragon Twist, a can of Pepsi Cola with a trace of fruit flavor, packaging in English. Flavor identified as dragon fruit. PepsiCo does not produce this product. Dark Side Cola, a can with clear plastic sides, packaging in Japanese. Liquid inside is clear. When opened, liquid appears to react to air and changes to a dark black over a period of several seconds. The black coloration looks like billowing smoke and cannot be reversed. Liquid's taste described as cola with something spicy in it. I want to drink that. That sounds cool as fuck. Yeah, where can I get this Dark Side Cola, please? What universe? The Little Bakery, 7 green. Do not drink! Why not? I can't drink something from the mysterious vending machine from nowhere? The Little Bakery, 7 green. A small tube the size of a candy bar with a green button, made of aluminum, packaging in English. When the top is twisted off, a mass of dough is extruded. Dough contains several enzymes and bacteria that have not yet been identified. On contact with air, these cause the dough to rise and bake, killing the microbes in the process, producing a small round loaf of bread weighing 250 grams. Taste described as good, but chewy. Lemon clams. Thick plastic baggie with a plastic tube on the side containing water and 12 clams. Packaging in Dutch. Following unpackaged instructions, the plastic tube was cracked like a glow stick. Liquid in bags flashed into steam, venting from a hole that popped open at the top of the bag, slightly burning one researcher. Steaming finished after 38 seconds, after which clams were found to be fully cooked and infused with a mild lemon flavor. On investigations, clams matched no recorded species. Diet Ghost. A can containing an instance of SCP-2107. Packaging was in English. Tests done on this instant provided similar results to the contained instance of SCP-2107. This marks the first time SCP-261 has vended another SCP object. Unknown. Small mesh bag filled with small multicolored pyramids, packaging in an unknown language. Pyramids found to be very hard and unpleasant tasting. Compared to chalk in taste and consistency. When placed in hot water, pyramids open and produce strings that quickly dissolve, coloring the water the same shade as the pyramid. Water has no additional taste, but testing revealed a sharp increase in mineral, carbohydrate, and protein content, with several minerals unidentified at the present time. This content was found to be consistent with the recommended daily intake of nutrients for adult humans. Researchers ingesting the water reported stomach cramps 2 hours later, but no other effects. Don't drink that one. Don't drink the pyramid water. Don't drink that one. No, 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 no. No. Another unknown. Aluminum box with a small glass window on the side and a large round button on the top, packaging in an unknown language. Box is seamless. Appears to be filled with small round animals covered in fur, each with 3 small paws and 1 single large eye. Pressing the button causes the inside of the box to rapidly become superheated, cooking the animals alive. No! Muffled noises and scratches were heard for several seconds during the cooking process. After 1 minute, 30 seconds, the front panel opens and gives access to the now cooked animals. Professor Kane volunteered to eat the animals with no other researchers willing to do so. The taste described as crunchy and very spicy with a small hint of beef. Free them! No! Tall, thin aluminum can, packaging in an unknown language. Opening the can caused a chemical reaction with the liquid inside the can. Liquid was apparently not intended for oxygenated atmosphere and detonated violently, causing several injuries and killing 2 researchers. Testing discontinued and area cleared. Testing area observed to smell like citrus for several days. Hey, you look so good. Spooky. Thank you. It's Fallen Angel Serenity, baby. Hey, VC face. Wake up. Wake up. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, spooky time, baby. I wonder, how long is this other experiment launch? Oh, this other experiment log is too long! Can't do that right now. Okay. Dimensional vending machine. I think that's the first ever SCP I've ever heard of. I think it was the dimensional vending machine. Maybe not. It was definitely a vending machine was the first one I heard of. Let's do SCP-348. A gift from Dad. One of my personal favorites. SCP-348 is what I said, right? Yeah. Noodle soup. It's a bowl of soup. That's what this SCP is. And this SCP makes me emotional. SCP-348. Object class safe. This emotional bowl of soup. Special containment procedures. SCP-348 is to be kept in a standard locker at Site 19. Personnel wishing to conduct tests involving SCP-348 are to obtain Level 3 or higher authorization and present a detailed list of intended test subjects. Description. SCP-348 is a white ceramic bowl patterned with light blue flowers, measuring approximately 20 centimeters in diameter and 9 centimeters in height. While no maker's mark are present, the Chinese characters for thinking of you, and I cannot pronounce Chinese, Zhang Zi Ni, are etched into the side of the bowl. In the presence of an individual inflicted with a minor ailment or injury, i.e. mild cold, runny nose, scrapes, SCP-348 will be filled with soup. While the ingredients present within the soup produced by SCP-348 young subjects, individuals between 4 and 18, have consistently stated that they enjoyed the meal, sometimes stated that it reminded them of their parents' cooking. Subjects will finish the soup found in SCP-348 if allowed. Children who eat from SCP-348 several times often express a feeling of contentment, stating that though they are eating by themselves, they do not feel lonely. I want to eat this soup. This healing soup. Addendum-1. SCP-348 was acquired shortly after rumors of a child living in blank blank, apparently possessing remarkable recovery abilities, came to the Foundation's attention. Investigation revealed that the child in question originally discovered SCP-348 in the attic of their house and had come to rely on it after receiving insufficient attention from their parents. The child's parents, both full-time workers, refused to comment on the relationship with the child. Resulting testing involving children was carried out under the guise of surveys to gauge the success of a new food item offered at public schools. Addendum-2. It has been noted that occasionally, after soup produced by SCP-348 has been consumed, a message will materialize on the inside of the bowl. Words produced on the inside of the bowl will appear to be printed on the ceramic consistent with the existing markings. The message that appears will be in the language most familiar to the drinker of the soup. After several hours, or when SCP-348 produces another meal, the words will disappear. Testing log. Subject: 8-year-old female afflicted with a sore throat. Brief background: lives with and is on good terms with both parents. Notes: subject took approximately 30 minutes to consume soup. Remarked later that the sore throat has seemed to have gone away. Test subject: 10-year-old male, recently injured self while biking, minor bruising. Brief background: lives with both parents, often argues with both. Notes: message appeared. Don't forget to brush. Subject: 11-year-old male, afflicted with slight cold. Lives with foster parents. Notes: message appeared. I'm glad you're happy. Subject: 9-year-old female, afflicted with slight cold. Background: lives with both parents, said to be prone to tantrums. Notes: nothing of note occurred during or immediately after testing. Subject stated while she didn't particularly care for the soup after tasting it, she still wanted to eat it. Follow-up investigations revealed that the subject recovered from the cold faster than was expected. Subject: 6-year-old male, recently injured while playing with friends, minor scrapes and scratches. Brief background: parents divorced, currently lives with mother. Message appeared. I'm sorry, son. Man, this one's like real sad, but also wholesome. It is wholesome, and I said this soup gives me feelings. It's called A Gift from Dad, is the fan name for this one. Subject: 7-year-old female, afflicted with cough, lives with mother and grandmother, father deceased in a traffic accident. Message appeared. I love you. Addendum-3. Testing has revealed that in the event that someone older than 18 years of age attempts to consume soup created by SCP-348, the individual will find that they are less inclined to finish the meal. Some such individuals remark that something is missing. Most will simply state that the soup has nothing out of the ordinary. Further studies carried out with older subjects indicate that though messages will appear for individuals older than 18, the appearance of messages is worn and faded. See testing log. This is the second testing log. Note: it was observed that though over 100 subjects were tested, only 4 individuals received messages from SCP-348. Subject: 30-year-old female, afflicted with headache. Brief background: on poor terms with both parents, refused to accept father's offers for career training, currently lives alone. Message appeared. Why? 35-year-old male, afflicted with cough, parents divorced, visits father and stepmother once a month, does not visit mother on her insistence. Message appeared. It'll get better. 40-year-old female, afflicted with a sore throat. Background: moved away and became estranged from both parents, nevertheless sent money and took care of senior housing for both Father recently passed away. Subject noted the soup tasted initially bitter, but was fulfilling in the end. Message appeared. Thank you. Subject, 40-year-old male afflicted with minor backaches. Background. Murdered father approximately 1 year ago. Oh. Notes. Subject tasted and then refused to consume soup, complaining about the taste. Subject later developed mild stomach pains. After the contents of 348 were disposed of, SCP-348 immediately filled with what appeared to be salt water, which remained 3 hours before disappearing. 45-year-old male afflicted with aches due to arthritis. Brief background, happily married, lives with wife and children, visits father once a week with family, mother deceased. Message appeared. I'm proud of you. Despite the extensive data gathered in testing, it is unknown whether the message that SCP-348 has manifested originated from the fathers of the subject or the SCP itself. Addendum-4. SCP-348 was once used in a test involving a 60-year-old man suffering from a terminal illness. The subject, a grandfather with multiple grandchildren, stated that the soup produced by 348 was the best thing he had ever tasted. Following the test, the subject reported feeling a sense of satisfaction and noted that the pain caused by the illness seemed to have faded. The subject passed away peacefully a week later. Aww. That's sweet. Oh, God. A message from Dad. A little gift from Dad. It makes you think, like, what would the soup taste like and say to you, you know, if you ate it? And how would it make you feel? You know? Okay, what's next? I'm like running out of like the wholesome and like funny ones on the list, and just the spooky ones are kind of left. So we're getting the spooky territory. Let's do 426. SCP-426. There we go. This one's called I Am a Toaster. SCP-426. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. I am to be sealed in a chamber with no windows, though I may be viewed. The door to my chamber must have a label completely unrelated to my designation or identity in order to prevent unintended spread of my primary effect. Only level 3 and above professionals are known of my presence and particularly of my properties. Assigned personnel are to be rotated out on a monthly basis to prevent containment by my secondary effect. Psychiatric evaluation is mandatory at the end of the month. If a personnel are deemed unaffected, they may be reassigned to me no less than 4 months after their last rotation with me. Any affected personnel are deemed unaffected, they may be reassigned to me no less than 4 months after their last rotation. Oh, whoops. Reread. After affected personnel are to be given a Class C amnestic and transferred to a different site. Just $3.99, baby. Okay, I'll do that one next. I forgot to edit stream info. Ah! I'm stinky. I guess just chatting would be the category. Okay, fixed. Okay. Hello, I am SCP-426. I must be introduced this way in order to prevent ambiguity. I am an ordinary toaster, able to toast bread when supplied with electricity. However, when any human being mentions me, they inadvertently refer to me in the first person. Despite all attempts, there is yet to be a known way to speak or write about me in the third person. When in the continuous presence of over 2 months, individuals begin to identify themselves as a toaster. Unless forcibly restrained, these people will ultimately harm themselves in their attempt to emulate my standard functions. I was discovered in the home of Blank's family after the gruesome deaths of 3 of its members. I had been given to the younger Mr. and Mrs. Blank as a wedding gift. No card or any identifying markings have been found on my box. Approximately 2 months after the family received me, fire crews were dispatched to the home due to an electrical fire. The younger Mrs. Blank died from the electrical discharge that she had caused when attempting to devour an electric socket. The other 2 victims had died shortly before the fire occurred. The elder Mrs. Blank had gorged herself with nearly 10 kilograms of bread before her stomach burst and she died of internal bleeding. The other Mr. Blank died of severe blood loss after attempting redacted with me. Oh no. The sole survivor was the elder Mr. Blank, who was suffering from severe malnutrition. He stated that he inserted some bread a week prior and is still waiting for the toast to pop out. Inserted it where? Inserted it where? Oh no. I was confiscated by the Foundation after the police noted my unusual properties. A Class C amnestic was administered to the affecting officers. Experiment log -1. Date blank. Subject Class D personnel. Procedure. Class D was asked to describe what he believed was contained in my chamber. He was not informed about my identity or properties. Details. Class D stated, "I'm probably some huge monster holed up in there. That's what you guys all have over the place, right?" Class D remained oblivious that I used first-person pronoun. Experiment -2. Class D personnel. Class D personnel was placed in my chamber and given regular meals through a dispenser. No communication with Class D was permitted. Multiple cameras were situated in the chamber, positioned so that I was outside of the field of vision, but allowing the constant observation of Class D. We remained sealed until my secondary effect manifested in the subject. I was bolted to the floor so that I could not be moved into the camera's view. After 45 days of isolation, Class D was wrapped his arms around me and began conversing with me, stating that we were brothers. Class D never deviated from using the first person plural when speaking with me. Subject was terminated 1 hour after the event. It is theorized that the isolation accelerated the progression of the second effect. Log -3. A screw was removed from me and shown to Class D, who was asked to describe it. Class D was not informed about my identity or properties. Class D referred to it as my screw, consistent with experiment -1. The subject was oblivious of his use of the first person in this description. This suggests that even if I was destroyed, my effects would still be inherent in my remains. And log -4, Class D personnel was placed in isolation in a cell adjacent to my chamber to be observed until the secondary effects manifest. No effects appeared. Class D was terminated 90 days after the start of the experiment. Thank God there are some limits to my effect. A lot of us was really starting to get worried about me. Dr. Blank. He's a toaster that makes you toast. Makes you into a toaster. And that was, I am a toaster. So let's do the one you suggested, $31.99. Unless it's super long. Please don't be super long. $31.99. Ugh. McNuggies looking ass. Ooh. There's all sorts of little stuff over here. Okay. SCP-3199, Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. All live instances of 3199 are to be contained on Site 114 within a modified Keter humanoid containment chamber, hereby referred to as its primary containment, the walls of which should be coated in approximately 2 centimeters of thick acid-resistant steel. CCTV's equipment is installed in the northeastern and southwestern corridors. 2 meters of empty space are to be allocated between primary and secondary containment. Secondary containment consists of suspending all live instances of SCP-3199 within a block of solid transparent substances, currently clear acrylic resin. This block is to be at the height of at least 3 meters with one armed security guard stationed immediately outside the initial containment at all times. An 8-digit passcode can be obtained from the current Site 114 and the director in order to bypass primary containment. Secondary containment is to be regularly examined for damages. It's human McNuggets. Oh, oh no. Movement and activity of any kind to be noted. The current Site 114 director is to be informed at the earliest possible convenience. A temporarily recalled procedure as detailed in Addendum 3199-03. Experiments involving the use of live SCP-3199 instances are strictly prohibited without approval from at least 2 personnel from level 40 security clearance or above. As of 12/6/2017, there are 4 live instances of SCP-3199 3199 successfully contained. As of 2/18/2019, there are 6 live instances of SCP-3199 successfully contained. Description. 3199 denotes a species of sapient Category 5 biological entities of currently origin, though tissue samples indicate the presence of silky chicken, chimpanzee, stoat, mussel, adder, and human DNA. That's pretty cursed. They are typically hairless, stained with a thick layer of albumin-like excretion, and stand at an average of 2.9 meters. Its weight averages at 780 kilograms for a matured instance, and 360 kilograms for a hatchling. Autopsy has determined that the cervical vertebrae of a mature SCP-3199 instance is composed of cartilage rather than bone. This enables the neck and throat to twist and dislocate around 340 degrees in either direction, aiding their unusual reproductive cycles. 3199 are opportunistic hunters, engaging with live subjects with a currently unidentified radius, which is marked out, within a radius of 0.6 kilometers surrounding hatchlings that have not yet reached full adolescence. Average speed is recorded to be 25 kilometers per hour. Upon contact with human or animal subjects, 3199 will proceed to redacted, liquefying internal organs and bone structures. A suitable cadaver is then transferred within the range of the closest hatchling. 3199 produces large eggs of an off-white coloration and rubbery appearance. An egg will pass through an entity's digestive tract, esophagus, and eventually out via the mouth, followed by a viscous red substance. First thought to be a form of placenta, chemical breakdown was determined to be highly corrosive material. 3199 shows extreme distress throughout the process, with personnel describing the sound as not dissimilar to a scream. 3199 produces its eggs to fill unoccupied space. There is no known limit to the number of eggs SCP-3199 is capable of producing. There's a standing theory that is as follows. Given enough time, a single instance could single-handedly perform an LK class species transmutation scenario. The termination of a live instance can be achieved through a variety of equal effective methods. 3199 has proved to be around as resilient as a standard human subject. However, complete eradication has proved impossible, which has been crossed out, difficult, as all assuring that one living instance will persist through even ordinary means of consistent and lethal assault. This biological phenomenon is presumed to be in itself anomalous in origin. A single 3199 egg can bear a tremendous amount of resilience, maintaining its form and purpose, even following the continual subjection to extreme blunt force trauma, pressures exceeding 1800,000 psi. I don't know how to say numbers. High precision blades, serrated or non-serrated, long-term acid exposure. The application of plastic explosives was considered, but quickly rejected by higher administration. Heat is primary component in its growth and development of 3199 eggs, and Foundation research Puig Blythe was particularly apprehensive towards the idea, believing it would almost certainly result in a second containment breach. 3199 was issued Keter classification on 10/6/2017, following a containment breach. 3199's prior containment method, a sedated water bath, was disassembled and replaced with a revised containment procedure as listed above. Addendum. All further experiments involving 3199's eggs are strictly prohibited. Hatching periods have proven too unreliable to warrant extensive research, and as the consequences of a containment breach become more and more apparent, the O5 Council has unanimously decided to nip the situation at the bud. Until new and reliable information comes to light, all personnel found acting against protocol will be subject to a standard zero-tolerance risk assessment training, and a punishment determined on a case-by-case basis. Thank you for your continued cooperation. Woo! Okay. 3199 was discovered in Blank, Ireland, following witness reports of a bald creature crying like a banshee from within an undisclosed area of woodland. These reports resulted in dispatchment of Mobile Task Force Omega-19, who arrived on site with a total of 12 armed personnel. 2 personnel were lost in action, and their internal organs and jaws were almost entirely dissolved. During transportation, 3199 produced 2 offspring, resulting in the deaths of further 6 personnel. Addendum 2. On blank 2017, a thorough sweep of 3199's initial recovery location was enacted in an attempt to uncover the creature's origin and purpose. Local reports suggest that small remote residence in question has been abandoned for at least 2 decades. Service Team Delta 029E recovered several items of interest, including 1 bag of assorted threads and needles in various colors and sizes, approximately 13 chicken carcasses based on the collective heads and quarters, with precise incisions located on the underbelly, neck, and thigh. 6 of the carcasses have been plucked with visible human teeth marks lining the bare areas at random intervals. Several containers, including water bottles and Tupperware boxes holding an unidentified watery paste. The paste was deep brown in color, and in the presence of oxygen, it turned viscous and hard. At A5 notebook, blank brand, and heavily scratched with what determined to be human fingernails, the words New Breed Manifesto are written on the front cover, and 2 chicken feather quills. That's kind of cursed. I don't like that. The notebook itself consisted of 24 pages of standard lined paper written in non-anomalous black ink. 19 of these pages consisted of various cuboid patterns and crude childlike illustrations vaguely resembling 3199. On the remaining 5 pages, large lines of writing detail the diary of unnamed individual. Much like the written script was illegible, one exact extract in particular dated blank 6, 1973 was written with notably higher clarity. And it says, if you're reading this, then lucky you. For 100,000 hours from now, it'll be warm and wet and warm. The wonderful veracity of inferior human DNA will birth a better era, a stronger ear. One where illegible, and food and water will be nothing but things of the past, and we will make more until illegible. I really haven't much time. That's when I envy you so much. You'll have all the time you need. Time will be a thing of the... Time will be on, and death will be life. Life. New life needs things to live. New life will be part of life from now on. Sick. Ain't this whole thing just, like, sexually cursed? True. Also, I forgot how long this was. I'm so sorry. No, that's fine. It's not that long. The final page consisted of various ink blots, 13 instances of the word life in inconsistent sizes, 2 instances of the word I want it, and lyrics to the English songwriter Frederick Weatherly's Danny Boy, an old Gaelic script. The identity of the journal author is pending investigation. I think I can guess who the journal author is. Addendum 3. The following procedure is to occur in the event of a Site 114 containment breach in an effort to safely and immediately recontain live 3199 instances. On-site personnel with level 1 security clearance or above assume standard lockdown procedures and evacuate Site 113 to await further instructions. Site 114 is to be flooded in its entirety by a clean distilled water treated with a dissolvable Class A sedative. Surface Team Tango 306A will be dispatched immediately to retrieve any lingering instances of 3199's eggs. Any living instance of 3199 will be terminated on site, and the remaining eggs will be collected. All egg samples are to be transported to temporary off-site containment with a stable bathwater. Site 114 will be subsequently drained, and custodian staff will be dispatched to thoroughly clean and sanitize the ground to a Green Zone Foundation standard. Personnel attempting to breach Site 114 before this inspection is complete will be apprehended and punished accordingly. Note, a number of personnel have expressed their skepticism regarding the scale of SCP-3199's containment breach protocol. To clarify, we will have reason to believe that fluid is an excellent counter to 3199's anomalous reproductive properties. It appears to enter an inert state in the presence of liquid, regardless of thickness or clarity. The leading theory is as follows. 3199 discerns the liquid around it to be occupied space. Regardless, I believe it speaks for all of Site 114 when I say we're all quite relieved to have found a safe and consistent method of containment. Dr. Lewis, 12/5/2017. How long is this video transcript? It's not that long. Okay. Video transcript. Subject Capel Duncan. Interview with Dr. Edwin. Subject had undergone extensive psychiatric therapy prior to interview, and while the Foundation does not consider them responsible for the deaths, Private McLeod and Private Langley, subject expressed feelings of guilt for having neglected standard Foundation safety and protocol. Begin log. Duncan, take a seat, right? Please, if you would. Is that Captain? Corporal? It's probably Corporal. Duncan clears his throat, white noise as he sits, visibly anxious. Could you explain your mission briefing? The job is pretty simple. No auditory or visual triggers that the higher-ups in Site 114 knew about. Seems to me that they did a pretty good job scraping the area clean. Corporal Duncan laughs nervously. Never is that easy though, huh, ma'am? We landed around 2,100 hours. The boys, or is it 2,100 hours? There we go. The boys and I have told that we couldn't catch the thing. The next best thing would be snapping a frame or two, so they hooked us up with the best night vision hardware. Corporal Duncan shuffles uncomfortably in his seat. I know you have the pictures, Ella. I know you've got something. Paper shuffling. Dr. Edwin looks grave. Ewing looks grave. Ewing, you're under no obligation to review the recording. Nah, I know that. Just shook me a little. Please, go on. We found something within the hour. Almost like a shack. Totally out of scrap metal and wood. Looked like an oversized chicken coop than anything else. But I don't know what your new monster built it. I don't know that your new monster built it. Just made it a home. And I assume you entered ASAP? Of course, it was a late shift. Wanted this over as quick as possible. I'd like to say that that's why we did what I did, but I can't bring myself to make excuses. Corporal Duncan places his head in his hands, sighing. I really fucked it, ma'am. Pardon my French. It's perfectly appropriate, all things considered. However, I'm going to have to ask you to continue explaining the procedure. Right. Well, I had two of my men stationed at back. Private McLeod and Private Langley. Insisted they'd take first charge. Fresh out of training they were. Kids. I should be used to it by now, but... Corporal Duncan laughs dryly. Never seen a smile get cut down so quick. It knew we were there somehow. Jumped right at Private Malloy and data expunged the fucking teeth out of his head. I see whenever I blink, ma'am. That's the shit that stays with you. Wait, what? What would you do in this situation? You go out, drink so you black out, you wake up and fart out a condom? What? I don't understand. What did I do? I did something. I don't know what I did. Let's see. Where was I? The Foundation will take every measure in providing financial compensation to the families of your lost men. Could you elaborate on further compensation to the families of your lost men? Could you elaborate upon another casualty? Hold on. Sorry. Silence for a moment. Corporal Duncan leans back in his chair. A pause. Duncan, please, I must urge you to continue. The more we know, the more we can do to stop it from happening again. Eventually. We barely had time to react before it started moving down the corridor to the right. I guess the adrenaline had just hit me, because I fired off enough rounds to blow a chunk out of its chest. Just as its ugly head was about to round the corner, I saw another pause. Corporal Duncan shows visible signs of distress. Duncan. I saw straight fucking moonlight on the other side. Bullseye. The thing let out the most awful scream. I have a beautiful little baby boy at home, Doc. You know that? Irrelevant discussion of domestic life isn't necessary for this procedure, Corporal. Could you please... Duncan raising voice. I have a beautiful baby boy who just loves wailing when he's too cranky to sleep, and you know what? Every time he does, I think about that scream. I see it in my fucking head. I think what it did, and his PA gave him a look as if he's gonna bash his fucking head against the wall. Corporal Duncan, now standing, gradually sits back down. They were good men. Silence. Please, Ella, kill that monster. If for no one else, for me. End log. Note, I extend my strongest condolences to the family of those lost during SCP-3199's initial recovery. Furthermore, I would like to formally request that Corporal Duncan is administered one Class B amnestic at the earliest possible convenience. No excuses. Okay. Addendum -4 experiment logs. Addendum E-1 heat exposure. Subject 1 egg sample from 3199. Subject relocated to a secure containment cell. Inside temperature of the cell was gradually increased at an average rate of 7 Celsius per minute. After approximately 9 minutes, the egg ruptured violently and produced a single hatchling. On-site personnel reacted swiftly to recontain the newborn instance. However, the excessive internal temperature appears to have impacted the physical maturity of the hatchling, and it reached adolescence at an accelerated rate of 40 seconds. The now adolescent hatchling produced 2 further instances of 3199. Security response on site was swift, and all 3 instances were detailed cleanly. All subsequent heat experiments involving 3199's eggs have been postponed until further notice. The next one is experiment -2, cold exposure. The subject is 1 egg, and the subject is submerged entirely in liquid nitrogen. Security remains on standby throughout the procedure in light of prey experiments. After approximately 45 minutes of exposure, 3199 had reached -190 degrees Celsius. Following 2 hours of exposure, the egg was removed and placed in a hydraulic press. Ooh. Chemical analysis of shell. Sample 10 grams of finely pressed eggshell pulp taken from 3199 egg. Result. Detailed chemical breakdown shows traces of nacre, enamel, and currently unidentified carbon compound. Microscope analysis suggests that the shell itself is composed of tightly pressed crystalline structure. Practical application of this material is pending administrative approval. Okay. So he's just a horrible, horrible cursed chicken man. I hate his face. I don't like looking at his face. Gross face. I don't like his gross face. Okay, next one is going to be... Let's do the coffee machine. 2949. I mean, 200... 294. There we go. The coffee machine is what it's fan called. Yeah, there it is. A coffee machine. Chicken supremacy, they'll give us all soup. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, look at what we've done to chickens, you know. I find that, like, totally acceptable that they will all destroy us eventually. Okay. Let's see how long this one is. No, it's not long. Okay. SCP-294. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. There is no standard special containment procedure on file for item SCP-294. However, only personnel of security clearance level 2 or higher are allowed to interact with it. 294 is currently being stored in the second floor personnel break room and is monitored by 2 guards of security clearance level 3 at all times. He's just chilling in the break room. Description. Item 294 appears to be a standard coffee vending machine. The only noticeable difference being an entire entry touchpad with buttons corresponding to an English QWERTY keyboard. Upon depositing 50 cents U.S. currency into the coin slot, the user is promoted to enter the name of any liquid using the touchpad. Upon doing so, a standard 12-ounce paper drinking cup is placed and the liquid is indicated is poured. 97 initial test runs were performed, including requests for water, coffee, beer, soda, non-consumable liquids such as sulfuric acid, wiper fluid, and motor oil, as well as substances do not exist in a liquid state such as nitrogen, iron, and glass. Each one returned a success. Test runs with solid materials such as diamond have failed. However, it appears that SCP-294 can only deliver substances that exist in liquid state. It is of note that after approximately 50 uses, the machine would not respond to further requests. After a period of approximately 90 minutes, the machine seemed to have restocked itself. It is also interesting to note that many caustic liquids that would have eaten through a normal paper cup seem to have no effect on the cups dispensed by the machine. Testing is ongoing. As suggested, 294 was moved to the second floor personnel break room as a money-saving venture. Following incident 294-1, guards were stationed at the item as the security clearance became necessary to interact with it. Document 294A, A, regarding incident 294-1. On August 21st, 2005, Agent Joseph Blank attempted to use item SCP-294 to obtain coffee during his allotted break time at 9:30 a.m. At the request of Agent Blank to see what it would do, Blank requested a cup of joe from the item. Moments after confirming the selection, Agent Joseph began to sweat profusely and complain about a dizziness before collapsing. After moving the unconscious agent to the infirmary, the medical team recovered the contents of the cup dispensed by SCP-294, a combination of blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids. Don't ask for a cup of joe! Don't ask for a cup of joe! Testing revealed the DNA sequence of biological material dispensed by 294 matched that of Agent Blank. Agent Blank made a complete recovery after 4 weeks of rest and intravenous hydration. I'm surprised he's lived. X-rays and CAT scans showed no further signs of injury, and Blank was released. Both agents were reprimanded. Additional security measures for 294 have been recommended. Addendum 294-F. After reviewing documents on 294, Blank suggested testing 294's ability to retrieve specific listed liquids from a distance. Addendum 294-H. With overseeing of O5 data expunged, a cup of SCP-075 secretion was used as input. The product was proven to be requested liquid, and the cup was able to successfully contain the material. However, the report of incident 7507 was acknowledged 2 hours after the test. The addendum. Containment procedure breach had occurred exactly the same time this test was taking place, waking SCP-075 to its active stage. It was able to secrete an amount of basic solution equal to the capacity of a coffee cup before emergency containment procedures were applied, and it was rendered passive. Liquid was not found in the post-incident investigation. Addendum 294-I. Researcher punched in a request for a cup of gold. The machine dispensed a cup of molten gold. Researcher requested similar precious materials with the same result. Addendum 294-J. Researcher punched in from a safe range. Request of anti-water. The machine hummed briefly, then displayed out of range on injury pad. It is theorized that 294 has a limited range of collection and cannot reach into alternate dimensions. Addendum 294-K. Researcher punched in a request for diamond. 294 briefly hummed, then displayed out of range on injury pad. 294 gives this result for all solid substances. As a diamond is a solid crystalline form of carbon, it appears that the machine will not dispense liquid carbon, as it does not result in a diamond. When a cup of carbon was sequentially punched in, the machine dispensed a cup of liquid carbon. 294 was immune to the damaging effects of the dispensed liquid. 294-M. Testing the range of 294's capacity for retrieval has been initiated. A unique compound has been formulated composed of undisclosed ratios of blank brand bleach, blank brand cola, METRX powder, and Grama Marsala. The fluid was created and placed in a sealed container 25 meters away from 294. When requested, the fluid was dispensed. An equal amount of the liquid was no longer present in the original container. Some water. Next addendum. Researcher Blank, under observation of level 4 personnel, keyed in the request for the best drink I've ever had. 294 dispensed a fluid similar in appearance to cola. The researcher identified it as a mixed drink he recalls having at a bar during his bachelor party, and was convinced it was the best drink. Blank did not know what ingredients were in the drink besides rum and cola. Further tests are scheduled to ascertain how 294 gathers information. Next addendum is, under the same conditions, Agent Blank said the best drink I've ever had. 294 delivered a dark fluid topped with white foam, with a later identified as a Vinay lager. The cup was printed with a color picture of 5 men and 2 women drinking beer on the beach. Blank was one of them. In his briefing, Agent Blank confirmed his favorite drink was the Vinaya lager he consumed at the beach with his friends. It has now been confirmed that 294 has the ability to gather information from subject's mind in order to comply with the given conditions. Whew. Next addendum is, subject keyed the perfect drink. The machine dispensed a cup containing an odorless lavender liquid. After drinking the liquid, subject appeared to go into shock. Subject later committed suicide, leaving a note which read, "I'm sorry, but at this point, everything's just one big letdown. Requesting such a drink again is highly discouraged. None of the components of the drink have yet been identified." Oh no, don't drink the perfect drink. Next addendum is, subject keyed in something Casey will like. The device was heard to hum for about 3 seconds before dispensing an empty cup. Printed on the side of the cup was an image of a traditional soda fountain glass, filled with something brown, topped with whipped cream. Upon instructions of introduction to SCP-085, it was identified as by her as a chocolate banana milkshake and judged delicious. Next addendum is, researcher keyed in the request for a cup of music. 294 produced a clear, sparkling fluid that tasted vaguely alcoholic. Following indigestion, subject reported feeling and not hearing a continuous rhythm, and demonstrated the ability to move and even dance with a certain fluidity he had previously not known. Testing on other abstract concepts is continuing. I want to drink a cup of music. I would like a cup of that, please. Next addendum is, during a mass security breach, Agent Blank requested a cup of pertinent medical knowledge while taking shelter inside the second floor break room. Of the 4 agents in the room, Agent Blank was the only one not injured. SCP-294 poured a cup of clear green liquid. Following the ingestion of the substance, Agent Blank began mending the other agent's wound in a manner consistent with Foundation medical training. Agent Blank no longer has the medical training that the liquid provided, and other attempts to recreate the effect have failed. The agent has speculated that this event was an emergency measure taken by the object to ensure self-preservation. Next addendum is, Dr. Blank requested My Life Story from 294. 294 made a humming noise and shook violently for approximately 3 minutes before providing a highly viscous, opaque black liquid. Upon consumption, Dr. Blank reported that he remembered everything that has ever happened to him. Following the test, Dr. Blank entered his office and returned 48 hours later with a 538-page autobiography. I kind of want that. Next addendum is, researcher produced requests consisting solely of the phrase, "surprise me." Device produced an opaque cup containing normal water, later determined to have been heated to approximately 200 degrees Celsius. Upon receiving vibrations from transport, contents of the cup turned into steam, violently spraying boiling water in a 2-meter radius. He got jokes. This coffee machine got jokes. Next addendum is, researcher produced request for blood of Christ. 294 vibrated and produced the message, oh god, Hic est im calix sanguinis me. I need Softy here to read this. Then produced a paper drinking cup containing approximately 2.12 liters of red grape wine. Next addendum is, researcher produced requests for a cup of Similodon blood, a cup of passenger pigeon blood, and a cup of Thomas Jefferson's blood, and received 3 out-of-range errors. Next addendum is, A D-class personnel with an IQ of 99 and low curiosity scores was given written instructions about what to request. The D-class personnel produced a request for blood of Canis lupus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as wolf blood. The Class D personnel next produced a request for saliva of Equus ferus caballus, received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as horse saliva. The D-class personnel next produced a request for urine of Furclaris centurius and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as quala urine. The personnel next produced a request for cerebrospinal fluid of... Oh god, I can't read these. Foboromi Passani, and received a cup of liquid currently undergoing analysis. It is to be noted that Persumulus persani, when extinct during the Mikiana epoch, approximately 8 million years ago. I'm sorry for butchering that. I don't know Latin. Next addendum is Dr. King request for a cup of room temperature superconductor and received a cup full of apple juice with seeds floating in it. Next addendum, Dr. Minshew produced a request for a cup of D151839 leukemia and received a cup of fluid. The fluid was microscopically examined and found to contain leukemia blast cells, which were a genetic match to D151839. The second request of cup of his leukemia resulted in an out-of-range error. D was subsequently found to be free of leukemia, however, within 5 days, leukemia had reoccurred. Interesting. Kind of makes me wonder what I would put in this machine. Probably nothing interesting. Probably just like, Diet Coke, please. I'm scared of what you can do. Okay, I think I'll read one more because my voice is starting to go. So let's see. What is a good one? Oh, this is a good one. Hold on. SCP-2444. Okay, this should be good. Click. Hello? There we go. Okay. This one is 2444 or the Flea Circus. SCP-2444. Object Class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Any social media postings, local advertisements, or cellular communications related to 2444 are to be flagged and reviewed by Foundation interpreters. Noble Task Force Psi-7 Home Improvement will be deployed to neutralize any structure found to be housing 2444. All instances of 2444 will be cataloged and maintained for future study and reference one of Site-77's fault. Detaining entities residing within 2444 is not yet proven possible, with demanifestation occurring once reaching the border of 2444, but attempts to enact total containment on them are ongoing. Description. 2444 is a recurring physical manifestation resembling an indoor flea market. Discrete and abandoned buildings in urban areas are most frequent hosts for 2444 phenomena, although rural structures have occasionally also been affected. 2444 has thus far only appeared within the continental United States of America and Canada. Individuals living within reasonable traveling distance from the location which 2444 appears and will have recurring dreams about 2444 shortly before it appears. Most frequently, these dreams will take the form of the subject owning physical possessions, oftentimes becoming physically conjoined with these objects, and occasionally becoming a piece of merchandise themselves. Most dreamed objects are ones which will be coveted by the dreamer in their waking lives. While only a small number of individuals will experience this phenomenon, it will strongly predispose them towards visiting 2444 and encouraging others to do so. While active, SCP-2444 hosts numerous merchants and vendors, some of which have been found to be reoccurring. The items for sale within SCP-244 resembles things expected to be found at a secondhand market, including clothing, books, electronics, kitchenware, and furniture. All of these items appear to be extra-dimensional origin, with some being more obvious than others. There appears to have been some attempt at concealing this fact. Clothing has universally been found to have labels and branding snipping off. Although there are many indicators such as the presence of numerous armholes, neck holes too large, and some clothing not having any holes at all. In addition, designs may have anomalous moving fluid patterns on them. Some recurring document instances of this include moving images of rain, clouds, faceless men gesturing to be followed, along with deformed baby animals lacking teeth and gift wrapping being shredded. I kind of want a moving shirt that moves. Other merchandise found within the confines of SCP-2444 appears to be extra-dimensional bootlegs of popular culture items and other things commonly found at flea markets. These are usually sold by recurring vendors. Foundation personnel approaching these individuals should exercise caution in engaging with them. Any objects produced within 2444 are to be classified as instances of 2444-1. Partial list of some notable recurring vendors and their merchandise is as follows. Name given, Mr. Messy. Description: appears to be a white male with highly variable features, with the only consistency being inconsistency. Noted for having a high-pitched voice and always appearing wearing an artist smock. Common items sold: apparently bootleg versions of Wondertainment items, including Coal Beep, an autonomous toy robot which tends to flee whenever approached by a human, and superb paper, wax paper, which can be folded into paper airplanes, which take the same universal flight patterns of immediate nosedives. Altered versions of contemporary pop culture, including Rick and North action figures and homemade DVDs for our Mystery Laboratory Culture 10K, and Legions, which appears to be green humanoids with large eyes wearing classical military garb. Books, papers, and hardback with topics such as The Proper Way to Skin a Cat, A Brief History of Stairs, Bloodletting for Dummies, and biographies of historical individuals which differ wildly from reality. Most of these books contain inscriptions indicating they were highly coveted gifts. Given name, Slug. Description: a humanoid entity of indeterminate origin, overweight and no visible body hair, travels in a homemade electric wheelchair apparently made from a driving arcade game machine and a portable generator. Missing several fingers and communicates mostly intelligibly. Common items sold: electronic magazines depicting laptop computers with vacuum tube technology, flying in aquatic cars, personal jetpacks, and virtual reality headsets. Most appear to be heavily worn with notes from previous owners, featured items being circled and prices highlighted. Satellite television dishes with brands related to Oniori Collective. The seller claims to have been able to broadcast the owner's dreams, have been proven to be untrue, as the device does not function at all. Vintage electronics such as video game consoles labeled as Dependo 64, apparently made to both play video games and assist persons suffering from nocturnal neurosis and preventing future incidences. Various commercial and knockoff smartphone devices, mostly which came with the SCP-2876 phenomenon built in. Name given, Dr. Magnus. Description: Asian male wearing a solid lab coat with a small sword around his waist. Seem to wear at least 11 different wristwatches at all times, frequently self-sampling medications it sells. Common items sold: herbal supplements and sleeping aids. When taken, they may cause the user to experience vivid dreams related to 2444, along with other objects and media they wish to possess or experience. Also noted to be highly effective in rendering users to sleep. And name given, Shrek Faustus. Description: bald albino humanoid with recessed features and most commonly seen wearing a bathrobe and slippers. Common items sold: clothing with the aforementioned anomalous appearance and properties. All items sold by this entity appear to have some level of anomalous appearance. Kitchenware with custom appearances, along with curved blades and misshapen but functional frying pans and Tupperware containers. Pet collars appearing to have made for three-headed pets. enclosures for hamsters and other similar creatures apparently as large as cats or small dogs, pet food for exotic, extinct, or mythological creatures. All recurring vendors found during exploration of 2444 are to be recorded in an extended log of vendors. History. SCP-2444 was first discovered when several Foundation agents were affected during an unrelated field operation. After attending 244 and noting its unusual merchandise, several other reported appearances were found dating back to the early 1960s. The following passage has always been found erected as a banner over 2444's entrance. And it says, "Take what you need. When you're done, do not throw away. Please divide your things among your friends. We're worthy of being loved, too." All right. Whew. So that is the Fleecings. Hell yeah. Okay, everybody. Okay. Switched chatting. And damn me voice be tired now. I did a lot of reading today, Jesus. But hell yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good stream. I hope y'all like my new outfit. Fallen Angel Serenity. Or God Serenity, or Spooky Serenity. But thank y'all all for joining me today as for our spooky stream. I don't care that it's not October. Spooky stream is anytime, and I will be planning on hosting some more spooky streams in the future. Don't know when. Not entirely sure what I will do, but I think it would be a good idea to separate horror games or spooky content into a special stream so I don't scare nobody. But yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST, and we will be playing Dream Daddy. It'll be our Dream Daddy stream. I know I made the mistake of putting two very heavily talk streams next to each other. I regret that deeply now, but, whatever. I'm sure it'll be okay. Maybe. Hopefully. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll see y'all later. Bye. Oh, but first, I should drop my socials. There we go. And I've added, since last stream, I've added the Discord, which you can join as long as you're 18 plus. And then my Twitter and my YouTube. And let's see who we can raid. Okay, let's raid Luna. She's really cool. She's playing Persona 5 Strikers right now. Start raid. And when you're there, make sure to post this in the chat. Alright. I'll see y'all there. Bye!